know the real difference between men and women riders? Because I was riding this horse for this woman, helping her teach her horse how to jump, and we've been talking about the history of this horse. And one of the things that have come up is the horse was previously ridden by a man who was a cowboy, right? So obviously horses don't get sent to the cowboy for no reason, but men versus women as riders, men are stronger than women. So just in general, and I'm a pretty strong woman because I was a gymnast and I train horses and I'm pretty strong as a woman, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I am stronger than men. So what's funny about that is if you're somebody listening to this and you don't believe there's a difference between men and women, then I don't think this video is going to help you very much. But if you're a rider and you want to understand as a woman how to get better results with your horse because we're not men, then stick around. There's probably something in here that's going to help you. So as I said, the reality is men are stronger than women. So the advantage men have as riders over women is at the end of the day, if something's not going well, they can kind of go toe to toe with a horse in terms of forcing them into doing the right thing. What that does is that means that in order for me to get the results versus a big strong man, I have to get them in a different way. Because while a man can use force to, push the issue, if I go down that path, I'm probably not going to get good results because I am not going to have the strength to back that play. So here's the deal with women. You have to train horses to want to do the work. Now, everyone's going to be like,
oh my God, that's so much harder.
It's not harder. It's just a different type of relationship with your horse. Now, that doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't be able to pull a trump card, right? Like, that doesn't mean that you just sit back and relax and it's like, cool, well, they want to do it, so that's just how it's gonna go. Like, no, it's not about that. It's just about knowing the difference between men and women and how we actually cannot go toe-to-toe and force horses to do anything. So we have to teach the horse what the right answer is so that they can just make the right choice. Now, one thing I am going to point out is why this is such a struggle for women in particular. And this is not a knock because I am a woman, but we tend to be more emotional because of our hormones. And so one of the challenges with getting a horse to do things voluntarily is that we become emotionally vested in the situation. And so what inevitably ends up happening is if something isn't going well, we'll get frustrated. And then when we are frustrated, it's never going to create the right answer with you and your horse. So here are a few just tips and tricks for, as a woman, how to get a horse to do what you really want them to do without getting frustrated about the process of learning. So one thing is you cannot be physically stronger than a horse. One thing you can do is you can get stronger in your core. People tend to very much underestimate how much core strength it takes to ride a horse. And it's not actually because you need to be stronger than the horse. It means it actually has nothing to do with the horse. It means that your core, it needs to be able to hold your body up straight, and it also needs to be able to pull your body from, if you fall forward or if you fall backward in the saddle, that both of those movements to get you back to center require core strength. So you don't have to be stronger than the horse. You just have to be stronger than your center of gravity. So what happens is if you're weak in your core, then you're going to be much easier to overpower when it comes to a horse. Now, this isn't about being stronger than a man. This is just about being stronger than you currently are. So my first tip is do some core work. And this doesn't mean like just go and do sit-ups. Like sit-ups are like the lowest common denominator when it comes to core work. Actually, what I would recommend you do is more work in terms of twisting. So you not only get abs in the front, but you get abs along the side. And you actually do movements that are also simultaneously strengthening your back as well as your core. Now, if you want to know if you need more core strength or not, you're going to perform a core body test. Now, here's how this works. You're going to hold a plank for 3 minutes. And you're going to do a few different things. So for the first minute, you're going to just hold a normal plank as is. In the first 15 seconds of the second minute, you're going to hold your right arm up, so you're balancing on your 2 legs and your 1 arm. Then for the next thing, you're going to hold your other arm up. You're going to put your other arm back and your other arm up. Again, balancing on only 2 legs and 1 arm. So that's the first minute and 30 seconds. The next 15 seconds, you're going to put both your arms down and hold one of your legs up for 15 seconds. After the 15 seconds is up, you guessed it, you're going to switch to the other. At this point, you're at 2 minutes. You've done 15 seconds of individually lifting each body part. Now, for the last minute, the first 15 seconds, you're going to lift 1 arm and 1 leg, and you're going to do a cross diagonal so that you're holding your right arm and your left leg, or your left arm and your right leg, and you're going to lift those. So for 15 seconds, you're going to do 1 diagonal, and then for the next 15 seconds, you're going to do the other diagonal, and then for the last 30 seconds of the 3 minutes, you can just go back to holding a regular plank. Now, what is this going to tell you? If you're able to successfully do this plank test for 3 minutes without totally dying, then this tells you that you have pretty good core strength. That means all of us have room for improvement. So this by no means means, okay, don't do anything. It just means, okay, cool. Like, I have a pretty solid foundation for my core strength. They are helping you with a lot of things. So 1, it's helping you with your core strength, but 2, it's helping you with your balance. It's helping you maintain your balance while you're being, say, pushed out of balance. Because when you're riding a horse and a horse jigs to the right or jabs to the left or does something crazy, you have to be able to bring your body back to center. And that's what this test is really showing you. It's showing you if you have the ability to pull yourself back to the center of the horse, either when things go wrong or when you're doing something that requires you, like for instance, when you're jumping big fences, you have to be able to adjust your balance, to adjust with the horse as the horse is changing their balance. So the core test is the first thing I would highly recommend that you do to see if you're able to actually get yourself stronger to get better results with your horse. So the second thing is not getting frustrated. Now, of course, that's kind of something that, like, just saying that, it's like,
cool, thanks. Awesome advice.
But the reality is that if you are trying to convince a horse to do something, they don't want to do it, and we're not strong enough to do it for them, then we have to come up with a way to not get frustrated with the process so that the horse doesn't feel that frustration, because believe me, they feel it. And they react accordingly. One simple way to approach this is, if you do feel yourself getting frustrated, take a walk break. But don't take a walk break and let the reins down and let your horse go and let yourself go. Take a walk break, but do some dressage movements. Do some thought-provoking exercises with your horse just at the walk. What you're doing is you're removing the complication, but you're maintaining the connection, because the whole point of getting frustrated is not to, maybe you do need a mental break. I'm not saying don't take a mental break, but what I am saying is you take it down a few steps where it's like, we're still working, we're still focused, but we're going to do something that's so easy we can't fail. And then you build back up that you let go of the frustration, you build back up the success, and then you can keep going with your workout. It's just a way to do a reset that doesn't require you to drop the reins and let go of the entire situation. You have to actually find a way to productively still move forward. So those are 2 ways as a woman, because we have to not only ride the horse correctly, but we have to get them to want to do it correctly. So it's a little challenging, but there are ways for you to successfully do that. And if you want 10 horse riding improvement tests to become a better rider, then check out the playlist I put together, because if you want to become a better rider, then these are 10 tests you can do at home without your trainer to test your balance, your flexibility, all of your aids, and plenty more. So kind of curious how your test turns out, so don't forget to tell me in the comments. But I'll see you in the next one.